Tom here with you this morning for Rural Focus, and it's time to catch up with Phil Patterson from 4Farmers. Good morning, Phil.
Good morning, Tom.
So, Phil, we had a great yarn yesterday. We're chatting about some very exciting new product. So, for the listeners who are tuning in this morning, can you just give us a quick refresh and a wrap on what that product is?
Yeah, it's mesosulfuron, Tom, and, I'm probably excited about this product as I was when we halved the price of glean back in 95, and we're at the Henty field days, and with the canola crushers and the pellet press back in 97, 207, and the farmer come up to me and started talking about Atlantis and Hussar, and he said, I had to point out to the Bayer people these were the two products because they were after wild oats. And he pointed it out to them, and he said, this also does ryegrass. Come and look at this. And so it's interesting how a farmer sort of looked at all the plots, Bayer plots, and picked out the one that was doing not only wild oats, but ryegrass as well. And it not only does that, Tom, it does barley grass and brome grass. So it's basically a herbicide from heaven, basically, for our farm.
Yeah, no, look, and it's needed. I know coming into that time of year where you're going to be needing it very quickly. But the other thing we just wanted to point out today, Phil, was that 4Farmers itself, so you're obviously the creator there, founder of 4Farmers, and yourself on a farm. So 4Farmers is a company for the farmers, and it's run and owned and managed by one as well. Yeah,
it's amazing, Tom. It was only meant to be a one-year wonder and a stir. When we halved the price of glean, I never wanted to set up a serious business. I was a farmer first and foremost, and that's what I always wanted to be, probably because my father always said I'd never make a farmer's bootlace. But it's amazing. I mean, I thought when we halved the price of chlorsulfuron back in 95, we'd done our job. I wanted to sell it at cost, actually, because I wanted to farm, but I got outvoted by my wife, my partner, Cliff Knock, and the managing director, and the chemist. And I was wrong. It wouldn't have survived. I thought if we smashed the price of glean, all the other herbicides would drop, but they wouldn't. So we had to set up a business and slowly tick them off one by one, and that's what we've been doing. Every cent we make goes into registering the next overpriced chemical, because my farm is not all perfect soil, and it needs herbicides at realistic prices.
Yes, realistic prices would be key in this area. But that said, Phil, there's a lot of cost involved in getting these chemicals registered, a lot of costs that go on behind the scenes to get them to market.
Yeah, well, most herbicides cost at least $50,000 to register. Prosulfocarb, we had to send off and do some tox studies in India, so that probably cost another an extra probably $200,000. All this red tape and paperwork, it's not cheap. And what makes me rather cross is that, like Esther 800, we spent a fortune trying to keep that alive. But I was always buoyed by John Moore, who's probably the top weed scientist in Australia probably, or said to me, it's needed. It works better than any other 2,4-D because it gets underneath the leaves. And so we kept spending. And the trouble with that product was that the problems happened at a chemical factory. But we had to I had to go to the AAT to beat the APVMA on it, and because farmers need it. And I'm always mindful of what farmers need. That's what keeps me going. I've been through hell and back with 4Farmers. I could write a book on what we've done, had to put up with from staff and everything else, but somebody has to keep it going. Someone has to worry about those Aussie battlers, like my mates at Penong. We've got a few good clients up at, like Bill Crabtree was at farming on the edge of the desert. He was a good client. That's what keeps me going, because the chemical companies, they worry about the people who farm in the safe areas, but the guys farming out, the Aussie battlers out the end of near the desert, they couldn't care less about them.
No, and it often comes down to that bottom dollar as well, which is why we really like that it comes full circle, that the dollars are spent in-house here in WA and the product is created here for people here who need it. So there you go, listeners. There's a great product available here at a great price, and if you want to find out more information on it and get your orders in now, which you need to do, you need to get your orders in very quickly for this, call 1-800-038-445. That's 1800 038 445, or you can go to 4farmers.com.au and find out more information on there. If they do call the line there, Phil, what should they be asking for?
That they want this 4 Farmers mesosulfuron 30 OD, and the price works out about $15 a hectare at the recommended rate, which is under half what it used to be. It was priced so not many people knew about it because it was so expensive.
Righto. Okay, no worries. So 4farmers.com.au or 1800 038 445. Phil, great to chat with you this morning.
Thanks, Tom.